Next, let's look at how to organize these elements once they're on the artboard. In this toolbar, we have layers, which is kind of these diamonds stacked. And you'll see I'm only working on one layer right now. And if I open that caret, these are the different shapes that I have on the document. So they're in a certain order. So this polygon, which I drew last, is on top. If I were to overlap that, and let's say I give it the default fill, you can see it's on top of the shape. If I want to move it below, I can click and drag that element below this other rectangle. You'll see that whatever element I have selected or elements, they're highlighted over here in the layers panel. You can group objects by going to Object, Group, and now even if I just select part of one of the objects, they'll move together. You can see now in the layers panel, they are a group, and I can expand that panel. If I want to ungroup them, I can go to Object, Ungroup, or Shift Control G, and now they're separate again. You can group many objects together. Control G. And while they're grouped, you can hold down Shift to scale them all at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and ungroup these. And again, with an object selected, I can hold down Shift to resize it or scale it larger proportionately. Or I can take one of the corners or an edge and resize it that way. To rotate, you'll see as I hover over this middle anchor point or edge of the object, it turns into that curved arrow, which means I can rotate it, or also at the corner I can rotate. If you hold down Shift, you can control its rotation. If I want to rotate this rectangle 90 degrees, with it selected, I can go to one of the corners and hover until I see the curved arrow, hold down Shift, and when I click and drag, I can rotate it 90 degrees or 45 degrees. Or I can use the rotation tool. Over here in the left, or R for shortcut, is the rotate tool. With that selected, I can freely rotate, or holding down Shift, constrain the rotation, or I can double click on rotate and manually type in a value. With organizing, I can also lock elements. So if I have an element on top of another one, maybe I want to move them independently and I don't want this rectangle to move. So I can select an element and I can lock it here in the layers panel. And now I don't have to worry about selecting it. I can unlock it to continue moving it again. Or another way to lock it is with Control 2. You'll see now it's locked. Or by going to Object, Lock, and you can lock the selection. Or Unlock All, and now everything's unlocked. You can also click and drag in the Layers panel to lock multiple objects. Some of the basic operations that you can use, like when you're text editing or in documents, is copy and paste. So Control C and Control V will paste. You can cut an object with Control X, paste, Control V. If you want to paste an object in front, so for instance, if I want to duplicate this rectangle and paste it in front, I can do copy, Control C, and paste in front, which is Control F. And you'll see over here in the layers panel, if I change the color of this rectangle, in the layers panel, you'll see now I have a red rectangle on top of a black rectangle. If I want to make a copy of an object, I can hold down Option and click to drag copies of objects. I can select multiple objects and holding down Option, click and drag to make a duplicate. And if you've deleted something accidentally and recently, you can do Control Z. And again, remember to save often with Control S or File Save.